I have started the I've started the recording. Yay, okay. It's Xendergarten time. And then we
Yeah.
Zender all over the place.
Yeah.
We Zender all over the garden.
Fitzgerald, do you want to
Oh, yeah. How
say
do
everyone
I?
who's here? Just
Oh,
just
yeah,
list
right.
just say
Sorry.
say welcome.
I-
It's episode 13, and you just say
Right,
everyone who's
okay.
here, and then you say something funny or something. I don't know.
Okay. Welcome to Xendergarten episode 13. We have Dead Shaman, me, who is Fitzgerald, Ground, and Umo.
Yeah,
Spooky.
except you didn't actually say my full name. It's actually Umo.
Oh, well, excuse us for not respecting your Christian name. My Christian name is actually Miss Fault,
Miss Fall.
the tonic water addict of the north.
Yeah. Well, I am Umo, the Disturngruishted, because I just spelled distinguished very badly. So now it's Disturngruishted, and it's
That's
my
good.
new favorite adjective, and I don't know what it means.
That's very distinguished for this. It's great.
It's pronounced Disturngruishted. Yeah, Disturngruishted. Yeah.
Okay, I'll try my best. I'll try my best to pronounce your name correctly. So I guess we should probably talk about why there's nobody here, huh?
Yeah.
Man, I'm always messing up something on this podcast or other. Like either I
Oh, it's
just
because you're doing all the work.
yeah, I mean, yeah, but like either I forget to download recordings or I just arbitrarily decide not to edit an episode, or I forget to tell people what time we're recording the episode.
Quick note from editing, Umo. Or I decide to procrastinate so long on editing the latest episode that people are entirely convinced I've completely abandoned the podcast and I have to actually finish this to prove them wrong.
But I will say, the one thing that isn't my fault is when people decide they're suddenly too tired to join. So it's not like 100% my fault. It's like 99%.
I think it's like 40% your fault. 99. We do not have a level of confidence to get that sort of standard deviation. I don't know. It's been a while since I've taken statistics.
Yeah, you really put the A in standard deviation.
What does that mean?
I don't know. I don't know.
Is this another joke about my accent? I don't know.
It's like not like in making a fun way, but like it's like the way you say like
you're allowed to make fun of me.
Well, the way you say A and stuff is just like it's a quirk that's like very charming to me, for lack of a better word.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah, it's just it's really nice. I was actually talking yesterday with my family when we were having Chick-fil-A, and I was saying how like I really like it when like the people with that one accent that I don't remember, they say something like, "Oh yeah, don't you know?" I kind of butchered that, but like
yeah, it's this one or a variant of this one. It's a very northern part of the region.
For some reason, I specifically think about the cows from very early seasons of My Little Pony who talk like this for some reason. And also they have the ability to talk for some reason.
I mean, my guess is that the director was like, okay, so they're cows, so do the accent that you would expect cows have. And they did their very best approximation of a Wisconsin accent. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wisconsin or something. I don't know.
True.
Yeah, that's true, actually. That is what they call it sometimes. Wiscow. Scousen. Scouse. Nope. Totally different part of the world.
Scouse.
Yeah, and then I know, Dead Shaman, you haven't been contributing enough, but I do know you're from Russia, and one of the cities there
True.
is Moscow. Is that a coincidence? I don't know.
It's I don't think so. I think it was intentional.
Actually, now that I think about it, Moscow, spelled MOSS, cow, would be like a very good species to add to Minecraft alongside the mushroom. Like just Moscow.
There's a big cluster of moss at my apartment, and every time I look at it, I think, dang, moss is good. That was the whole thought.
The other moss that's good is moss with one S, Moment of Symmetry. Although, in my opinion, aberysmic scales are even better, but that's besides the point. Actually, Ground, would you like to talk about like the specific extension you developed recently called aberrated scales? Because I think that might be interesting.
Yeah, I don't know if this is like the final name. It's what I've been calling it. I've been calling them aberration, but aberration, whatever. Basically, what you do is you take an MOS and then you stretch or compress it and then duplicate it by however much you stretched or compressed it. I feel like I've mentioned this before because, like, tracked aber diatonic, right? Compressed, aberrated, diatonic, I call it track die for short, is like really important in 37 Ito, I think. It's kind of the last scale that I really needed to get good at 37 Ito, which was just one of the biggest tuning learning curves I've ever experienced. And so you also have a like tense aber diatonic, which would be the stretched version. That one isn't as good. Honestly, by far the best aberrated diatonic is the one in 37 Ito, just because it gets all of the 2, 5, 7, 11, 13 intervals. 37 is just built different. What can I say?
I also want to comment on like 37 and 26 because I remember you said before that 37 has a very liminal vibe, and I wanted to mention that to me, for whatever reason, 26 has a very nostalgic vibe, and I think
Oh, of
it's
course it
related to the
does.
fact that like the diatonic is soft enough to feel like very mellow and degraded the same way childhood memories are. But like the major third is sharp enough and the minor third is flat enough that like they feel true to their character rather than becoming like neutral enough that they feel cold and harsh.
I think the degraded quality is kind of like VHS tapes as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've always thought that like when the fifth is I don't know. It's hard to put my finger on the exact sense, but when it's like more than 5 to 10 cents flat, it sounds like an old cassette recording or something. Have you noticed?
Yeah, it's just a flatness is just VHS tapes, I guess. If I remember
maybe.
how it works, like with Flutter and WoW, it should be relatively even in terms of sharp and flat, but for some reason, flatness just captures the vibe.
Well, I think another thing we have to be a bit more precise about is it's not like purely flatness, because if you think about like if you think about Dorian, a version of Dorian where every interval is flat, then like the minor intervals being flat will be more neo-Gothic or septimal, but the major intervals being flat will be more pental or subpental. So it's like it's not about specifically flatness or sharpness. It's about what intervals you get with flat versus sharp fifths. But I don't know if there's like a good term for that. You know what I mean?
I think it's just kind of assumed that the thirds and the fifth are the most important for this, like specifically the major third, because those are the two diatonic intervals that directly related to the two primes in the harmonic series. But I don't know if it's just a coincidence. It could just be that people like major triads, and so that's important.
Yeah.
But also, I think thirds in general are important when assessing the way a scale works because they are smaller intervals, which means they are more likely to occur when you're writing music in chords and such. And so you don't really end up talking about the sixths quite as much.
Yeah, that makes sense. I was gonna say it's just what's weird about 26 Ito is that do you think it's accurate to say that 26 Ito has just about the flattest 5/4 that still feels like a 5/4? It's like 369 point something cents, like very close to 370 cents, and that's about 16 cents flat.
13 Ito is how I define the bottom bound for what sounds like a pental major third. Yeah.
Yeah, and 26 is just 2 times 13, so that makes sense.
Yes.
And I've mentioned this before, but I'll just mention it again for the podcast that 26 Ito does a really good job at the variation of mean tone that tempers the augmented fourth to be an 11/8 by making sure that 3 whole tones are small enough to stack to that interval. Because not only does 26 Ito and also 13 Ito have a really good 11/8, which is important because it's a more complex prime, and so it's more important to get it more accurate. But also, the other intervals are in tune enough to still feel true to their nature. And so, being able to have, 8 to 10 to 11 to 12 in just your regular diatonic scale, I think that is a very powerful feature of 26 Ito that I'm not sure how many people actually think about that or recognize that.
It is pretty good. I never use it. I just think that 26 Ito is a little too soft of a diatonic scale for my liking. If I want something like that, I'm gonna use an aberysmic scale that can optimize like neutral seconds and stuff. Or about as soft as I'm gonna go is 19 Ito. I think 19 has a lot of the same vibes as 26, but there's just something special about it to me. The 5/4 approximation is much better as well.
But I'd say if you specifically want a tuning of mean tone that optimizes for 11/8, I'd say 26 Ito is the better option. But yeah, if you don't want that, then 19 by all accounts is better. But I still have a preference towards 26 regardless. I mean, in Serendipitous Arrival, I used 26 Ito for that for the first half. I used both the 13 Ito Anirotonic subset and also the Slendrick Moss 5L1S that 26 Ito has, which is really nice. Cause you could consider the small step to be kind of like an aberysma, but it's on the larger side. It's like 46 cents. So 26 Ito overall, really lovely to work with, I think.
It probably is. I haven't worked much with 26 Ito besides back when I was starting out in Zen. I was into 26 Ito for some reason. This was like the early days of Diasem being called Diasem. And it was fine, but I found 31, had a lot more fun with that. And of course, 31 is also Slendrick. Slendrick is just, it's one of the best temperaments in general. It's so important.
Sure.
It makes Penslen work. And Penslen is awesome. I think what makes Slendrick so good is the fact that it is a very low prime limit, very low complexity, but also very small comma. Everything that you could possibly want. It's the perfect micro temperament. Depending on how you classify micro temperament, I don't really know. I've been finally switching teams a little bit, by which I mean I was definitely for a long time on the 46 Ito side of the 41, 46, 53 war, if you want to call it that, because they're all pretty similar in terms of what they do for being an 11 or 13 limit tuning. I thought 46 was the best for a while, but I've grown a little bit tired of it just because I wrote like one song in 46, which is going to be on the Gralbum too, coming out December 27th. But it's just so big, and I feel like I can get the same or a roughly equivalent level of pitch resolution with smaller and more easily usable Itos, like 31 or 37. However, there are some things where I still want that exact kind of tempering where, aberschismic, you would call it, right? Where it doesn't temper out either 81 over 80 or 64 over 63. I've realized that 41 might be perfect for that because it still has penciling, even though the interval sizes aren't quite as good. It's smaller, which is nice, actually. 5 notes makes a big difference when you're at the very top of your range for the sort of Ito sizes you're willing to use without contorting. And the thing that really won me over is it's anti-diatonic. 41 Ito's anti-diatonic is like almost perfect. Perhaps it's perfect depending on the way you classify it. It optimizes the 7 and the 5, and I just love it. You know how much I love 25 Ito.
Well, welcome to the 41 band gang. I don't know, because I am on this side as well, and I am on the 41 Ido side for a couple of years already.
Yeah, most people are. 41 is objectively an incredible tuning.
True.
I think I'll probably end up using 41 and 46 roughly as often, because there's still some things in 46 that I want, like having a supra minor third is pretty cool if I want to do something involving prime 17. I just discovered a new scale today that is a stretched smitonic that uses those thirds to make some really wacky chords. So I'm probably going to be, after we're done recording, writing something in that scale in 46 Ito. But it's also good in 25. 25 is impossible to ignore. It's just too good. But 53, though, 53 Ito is just too big, and no one should use it.
Ground, can you, you mentioned the Gralbum, I don't remember what that is. Can you remind me what the Gralbum is?
So you are in the start of where the drums come in A Lake Reflects the Black Sky with that vocoder.
Oh, that's what that is.
Wow.
I thought that was just a random audio file on my computer.
Uh-huh.
It's crazy how you can pinpoint the exact place.
I wrote it. I've probably
Yeah.
listened to the Gralbum over 100 times. I've probably listened like 500 times. I don't know. I can't estimate. But I could probably get it within an order of magnitude.
I've listened to my own music a lot as well, so I completely understand the feeling. I remember, like, for a while there, very recently, I had a phase where I was exclusively listening to Orangerion, Rockley's theme, Into the Spook Galaxy, and Serendipitous Arrival on loop. And yeah, I know that it's kind of crappy to like just listen to my songs from SVS 5, its Enter EP, and ignore the other 3. But like, it's too easy to develop an autistic hyperfixation on your own music, you know?
I get it.
Yeah.
That's actually not what I was talking about, although I do actually listen to my own music rather often because I write the sort of music that I want to hear. It's very particular in the way it sounds. But what I was just talking about is I've been writing these songs. I started writing most of these songs in 2020, and I would just sit at my computer and not be able to think of what to write and just listen to it on loop. Oh my gosh. I need to figure out roughly how many times I've listened to these songs. It's got to be in the hundreds at least.
Yeah, and I experienced that kind of thing too, but yeah, and I also write the kind of music that I like to write. Although sometimes I make stuff that a lot of people like, even if they aren't interested in my general style preferences. For instance, one of those songs that I think a lot of people really like is Rockley's theme. So I'm very glad that I wrote that. especially the beatboxing and the purposefully wonky B section. It's a very rockly song on purpose, and it's just, I love how it came together.
Yes, perchance. I do like it. It's my favorite on the Dabblings EP.
Yeah, I very much appreciate that. Which is why I'm also going to, because one time I found a very nice looking white rock, and I thought it would be the perfect rock to draw a face on to sort of be a compliment to Rockley. And I came up with the name Roxanne for that rock, which I think is a very good pun. And so recently I actually went ahead and drew these like pink eyes and smile and like a little blue hair bow, however you call it. And so, yes, I am going to write a Roxanne's theme, but I haven't decided yet how it will be similar to and different from Rockley's theme because I haven't really determined like the sibling dynamic between Rockley and Roxanne in the Xendergarten lore. Because yes, they are also meant to be brother and sister.
Yes, that makes sense. I mean, they are born from the same earth or something.
True.
I also
Yeah.
write a lot of themes for my OCs, but I never tell anyone what those OCs are because I find myself too cringe. I can't do it.
Well, that's why you've got to start writing themes for Xendergarten emojis. You gotta release like you gotta make Dogley's theme and like release that on Growlbum 3 or something.
I don't know. I don't know if Blank's theme really works for those because you know how my style is. I tend to be both a total cluster in terms of what I write. Oops, swore. Sorry about that. I've been a total cluster. Okay. We need to talk about bonk. Okay, I could call it a cluster bonk.
Yes.
Bonk is the new word that. Well, it's actually not new. My brother came up with it years ago. One day he just said, "That's bonk," and he forgot about it. But I kept it in my vocabulary, and I've been saying it all the time. And I remember texting him pretty recently, being like, "Hey, do you remember coming up with bonk? Where did that come from?" And he was like, "Wait, I do remember that. No, I have no idea where that's from. That just popped into my head." And just love that word because you can use it for anything, you know? If you're having a bad day, you could say, "Dang, that's bonk," you know? And if you have too many things in too few place, that's cluster bonk. You could get bonked up. You could be feeling bonky. Oh, it's perfect.
Yeah, I will say, I learned recently, as in like only a few weeks ago, that my brain is much more bonked up than I ever thought it was. But I don't know if we should talk about that on Xendergarten or not.
Yeah, you're insane. I'm insane. We're all insane, but I'm the most insane. Most of the time. I don't know.
Editor Umo again. The good news is that I am doing a lot better now, and I'm definitely picking up on a lot of things to figure out how to cope with this stuff. So, to celebrate, how about a remix of that weirdly rhythmic thing Ground just said?
You're insane. I'm insane. We're all insane, but I'm the most insane. You're insane. I'm insane. We're all insane, but I'm the most insane. You're insane. I'm insane. We're all insane, but I'm the most insane. You're insane. I'm insane. We're all insane, but I'm the most insane.
Yeah, but like I'm coming in like 4.5th place.
4.5, right?
It's like a reference to 3.5, because I guess like in the lore of Orangerion, the color of 7 is orange, and I guess now in the lore of Xendergarten, which is now connected to that, the color of 4 is green, so 3.5 translates to 4.5, so I am canonically the 4.5th most insane person on Xendergarten.
Uma, but really, after all this explanation, I can tell you that you are the most insane person on Xendergarten. Because those words that you released from your mouth, they had like little to no sense Well, maybe it's just me being absent most of the time.
Yeah, that's also why I can't assess how insane you are.
True.
But people have seen me go insane many times. I love psychotic symptoms. Yippee!
This is one of the yippiest yippies that ever yippied.
Well, that's true. I mean, the yippiest sound would be obviously me squeaking, which definitely happened when we were recording last night, Xendergarten before hours. So I put on push to talk.
I still thought that was Thursday night, not last night. I'm so confused how, like, we remember this differently, because I could have sworn it was Thursday night.
You know what? It was Thursday night, because I was high all of last night watching the Amazing Digital Circus on loop, because a new episode came out.
Wow.
And it was just great.
Just real quick, editor Umo, again. The episode she's referring to was episode 6, They All Get Guns. That's how long I was procrastinating. Back then, we were so young and naive. We didn't know about Abel. We didn't know about the one who's running the show. We certainly didn't know about whatever's gonna happen in the Lost Act, the YouTube release. So yeah, hopefully this kind of hiatus doesn't happen again or as extreme in the future. I'm working on it, figuring it out.
It was just bang. That's what Abnormality says. He says the opposite of bonk is bang.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't say it as much, but I respect him as a person, and so I say bang.
Okay, I have an extension to that vocabulary. If when you want to say something is bad, you say it's bonk, and if you want to say something is good, you say it's bang, then how about this? If something is just really, really confusing, it's boing. Like that monologue I just went on, that's like Umo, I'm sorry, that was so boing of you.
In a weird way, it actually makes absolute sense.
Oh, hi.
Hi, Abnormality.
Hi.
We were just talking about bonk and bang.
Yay.
And boing.
What does boing mean?
Boing is what you say when something is confusing. If it's good, it's bang. If it's bad, it's bonk. If it's confusing, it's boing. Like this very explanation. I love being meta.
Yay.
Just the incredible deadpan at the same time. I love that. Yeah, you're a bit tired. I hope you get untired soon.
Yeah, I had
Sure.
some pizza, some cake, and some Kool-Aid, and now I'm feeling a little less tired.
Yay.
That's good. This morning for breakfast, I had tonic water and Cheerios.
That's a good meal.
That feels so similar to the bottle of vodka and bowl of cereal from episode 4.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't put my cereal in liquids unless it's Rice Krispies, then I do. Otherwise, I just eat it dry. I love eating plain Cheerios dry. They're so special.
I actually also love just eating plain cereal, but like because I am like the best way I can describe this is like I am like more cartoonish than you, Ground, and so like I will do that with stuff like Fruit Loops, and like sweeter cereals. But I'm also autistic, which means I'll do it with stuff like Rice Krispies, which have basically no flavor on their own.
I do eat sugar cereal sometimes in the middle of the day when I just need something to keep me going. Because having a job sucks, and I don't like it, and it's not very fun. Especially when I'm crazy, then it's extra not very fun.
Dead Shaman, you are not in the Ennui coaster anymore. I don't see.
Yeah, you duplicated and then disappeared.
That's weird because I see myself. Okay, let's.
Sorry, I just gotta make sure it's recording, you know.
Yeah, see, this is what's nice about the dual ennui coster and Discord system, which is that if we were doing this only in ennui coster, then like none of us would probably be hearing Dead Shaman, and like we'd have to like
True.
ping him, and it would be very frustrating.
There you go. You're back. Hi.
Hi.
Right?
Yay.
The system is so much smoother.
True.
Let's
it is.
get dead with it.
Yeah. Anyway,
What was that noise? Oh boy, that's us getting bonky with it. That's for sure.
yeah, like that is definitely one of the boingiest things that happened on Xendergarten, I will say.
Bonky with it. Whoop.
Yeah.
True.
Hey, I can do that too. Get bonky with it. Woo!
Oh,
It ate your audio for sure.
Keep bonky with it.
Actually, that's the title of the episode. Getting bonky with it. Woo!
How do we even represent that noise?
True.
It's just 3 O's in parentheses, either with 2 exclamation marks or an interrobang. I'm not sure which one.
No, we gotta do the multi-ocular O.
Oh,
right.
you're right.
Maybe.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good point actually.
Maybe with some diacritics.
I wonder if YouTube will allow that.
Yeah, I think it'll allow it in the YouTube video title. Yeah, sure. I don't know. Yeah, you got to use the one with the 7 O's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, if you wanted to like represent 7 Edo, and you should just do like that symbol because it's 7 O's. So it kind of works.
Is this like the new? It's not a shorthand; it's a longhand. If you want to write 7 Edo, you write 7 ED O O O O O O O.
No, what I mean is you just use the multi-ocular O because it has 7 O's.
That's true. Yeah, yeah. It's so what? There's like how many different multi? I know there's one with 2, and there's one with 7. So
There's one with 10, I think.
Yes. Okay.
Like 3, 4, 3.
oh wow.
Yeah, I think I've seen that. I don't know if it's in Unicode. Maybe it is. I haven't seen it typed out much because obviously I haven't seen it typed out much. It's quite a specific symbol.
Abnormality, can you answer one question?
1 second, I'm trying to figure out what's going on with my mic because wait, let me. Okay, so I think this is picking up the wrong mic.
What is Michael doing? We must find out.
So I have it. So it's
I don't know why I said it like that. I just kind of turn up the wacky knob in my brain whenever we record, and stuff sometimes just comes out.
I think that's a good thing.
Like when AI just itself, and I swore again, gosh dang it. AI just, I don't know, poop craps itself?
Just bonks itself.
It
just bonks
Not so sure about
itself.
that one. And it'll just output nonsense. I feel like I do that sometimes by messing with the parameters.
I think it's just conditioning.
Oh, wait a second. I think my mic also just broke. I don't know what happened.
That's Winter's Mortal Hope.
Well, I don't
That's
have a lot of
specifically
hope.
the bass solo part.
I don't know what you're talking about, Hope. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't have a lot of hope about this because if my mic is like this forever, because then I won't be able to Actually, I will. I do. I will.
Oh wait, never mind. It fixed itself.
10 out of 10 transition, bro. That was 10 out of 10.
Just keep stammering. That was really good. 10 out of 10 transition for sure. Now that is getting bonky with it. Everybody's back. Man, we got a lot of people disappearing and appearing.
I fixed the thing. Okay.
Yay.
So for the first half of, before this point when I joined, the audio quality is going to be very bad because it was picking up on my webcam mic.
Yeah, that's why I unplugged my webcam before recording.
Yeah, I did that just now, and that seemed to have fixed it.
Yay!
Yeah, well, it's okay, because what I can do when I edit it is, I can do the same denoising process, and I can probably just, EQ those sections separately and probably salvage it kind of okay-ish? I don't know.
You know, it would be great if, for the entire time when it's the webcam mic for me, if you just, put the spectral retuner on, backstock, and then with no explanation.
I hate to break it to you, but my spectral retuner broke.
Oh, right. I forgot.
I genuinely don't know what happened. It's just one day I tried to load it up and it would just crash the instant it loaded. But it's okay because I'm going to make a new version of it that's going to be better because instead of having a fixed topology, which means that the audio routes internally through the plugin the same way every time, it's going to have that sort of node system where you can wire things up however you want, but it's going to be in the spectral domain. And I think it's going to be really cool. You can use it for microtonal retunings. You can use it for color base. You can use it for a slightly different version of vocoding, which is similar to retuning stuff, but also a bit different. You could use it for maybe making certain types of audio sound more synth-like, which could be really interesting. I have to sort out the details, but there's going to be so many interesting things you can do, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yippee! Yippee! I have a software project too. As of today, I'm releasing LoonTune. We just came up with the name right before recording when I was talking to Xendergarten. They were like, you should call it Serpentune.
You were talking to Ren Harmonic.
What?
Ren Harmonic.
You said you were talking to Zen Harmonic. Yeah, I was talking to John Zen Harmonic.
Oh, yeah. So I was talking to Zen Harmonic and they were like, you should call it Serpentune because that's what I was going to call my plugin because it has lots of scales, but it's never going to get done. So you can use it. And I said, I can't. It's just too good of a name. And my plugin sucks. So I need a name that is a little bit bonk as well. And so I stole the format and came up with LoonTune because some of the interface kind of looks like the speckles on a loon. And I do like loons. I think they're cool. I like hearing them go, Wah! The noise they make. Yeah. They're around here sometimes in the lakes.
So the name has nothing to do with Looney Tunes?
Nope. Cripes. Totally forgot about Looney Tunes. Jeepers H cripes. I'm gonna die maybe.
Loons are cool. I do think. For example, Luna. No, wait, never mind. She's either an alicorn or a hellhound. I'm so stupid.
Yeah, one of my numerous attempts to create a fursona was a loon. And her name was Xandra, and I decided to name my van Vandra after her because they tend to look similar in terms of colors and rough shape.
Actually, spell the loon you're talking about because I seem to not know the word.
I think it was Loon.
Loon?
That's why I made the joke about Luna, but it wasn't. It was less funny in real life than it was in my head.
Dude, do I have to rename my tuning plugin now? No.
That's a bird.
Maybe you should name it Luna Tuna or something.
I'm not gonna do that. This is really bonk, this situation. Just unbelievably bonk. I'm not sure what to do about it.
You can also call it Lunus Tunus, like a little bit of a Roman vibe.
Do I have to call it like tuner? I don't know. I'll figure something out. The only other name I ever referred to that project as is Grounds Good Tuner, because it's by me, and it's good, allegedly. Basically, what it does is it's right now I only have the script for Contact, but I'm working on one for Surge as well, and it's going to allow you to have arbitrary equal temperaments as opposed to the stock plugin script, something like that. The stock tuning script, which has 2 different parameters, and it's just root note and notes per octave, and that's it. And so I added like a bunch of extra parameters. And then I also added subunit factor, which is the subunits that divide steps of the equal temperament. And it would be an equal temperament multiplied by whatever the factor is. And so there's a whole table for adjusting things based on MIDI channels. And that is how I'm releasing a song in 117, 111, possibly 81 and 82 Edo in the future, because those tunings are just a lot.
Yeah, actually, I did get an idea for like different names for like your tuner. So my first thought was like just combine ground and loon to get groon. But then that reminded me that the Afrikaans word for the color green is spelled Groen, and it's pronounced groen. So you could call it groentune.
It should be groen and a half tune,
Yeah, groen and actually, no, I should translate the entire saying. I'm gonna ask my mom because Afrikaans is her native language. I'm gonna ask her what green and a half is in Afrikaans. Cause like,
oh boy.
We need to make sure we can translate these Xendergarten episodes. So for those Afrikaans Zen harmonic theorists all the way in South Africa, you know?
We're gonna subtitle all the Xendergarten episodes in Afrikaans, and that's it. No English, no other language.
No, we're gonna dub the entire thing. Everyone's gonna learn Afrikaans and then record over.
If you want to do that, you have to get the accent right. So first of all, it's pronounced Afrikaans. And then the way you say thank you very much, for instance, is very easy. Imagine the saying buy a donkey and then just sort of like flatten the vowels. And it sounds like buy a donkey.
I'm just gonna look up the phonetic transcription of various words.
Yeah, that was pretty good. That was pretty good, Dead Shaman. It's spelled Baya is spelled B-A-I-E. Donkey is spelled D-A-N-K-I-E. I think pretty similar to the Dutch word danke, which makes sense because Afrikaans actually originated from Dutch, I believe, because a bunch of Dutch settlers came to South Africa. And I believe Afrikaans is also referred to as Kitchen Dutch, which is interesting. So the two languages have a lot of similarities, but they're also very different.
Yeah, because the first thing I wanted to ask is why does it sound like Dutch?
Yeah, well, there you go. And another like very strange thing about Umo lore is, first of all, technically Afrikaans was the first language I was ever taught when I was like just a little baby, but I quickly grew a preference for English for some reason. And also, I guess I just had a bad experience with Afrikaans growing up because like I was forced to learn it for school. And I guess like learning a language for a course that you take like for school where you have to write like essays in that language and stuff is just so much more irritating than just learning a language because you want to. And so it's like for the longest time, I just like did not want to learn Afrikaans despite the whole rest of my family being able to speak it pretty much. And now I actually regret that a lot because, I am actually going to be visiting family in South Africa in like late September, early October. and I'm hoping to pick up a little bit of Afrikaans by that point, but like I do deeply regret that I don't know as much as I could have if I just decided to separate like Afrikaans as a language from Afrikaans as a school subject in my head, and then maybe that wouldn't have been a problem for me. Anyway, sorry, that was a little long. I did not expect to ramble on that long.
Actually, I think I kind of know the experience because I'm pretty sure I would have been some sort of of a painter or maybe a digital artist if it wasn't a subject in school, because for the most of my life I kind of wanted to draw, wanted to create new and exciting visual stuff, and I was progressing a lot when it came to drawing, but when it became a subject in school, I think I quickly lost interest.
Yeah, that makes sense. Also, I just realized I can't hear Fitzgerald in the Discord chat.
What?
Yeah, you. Oh, I just heard you, Fitzgerald. Actually,
Oh,
were you not talking? Because it looked like audio was coming through.
it's probably like.
Oh wait! Oh, someone's back. That's odd.
Yay!
Yeah.
I'm back.
Wow.
I
Yeah,
don't know how that
I'm
happened.
abnormality.
It just randomly happened. I don't know how much of the Afrikaans conversation we missed, but I just want to say "Ek sal gister sterf," which means I will die yesterday.
Nice.
I didn't pronounce it very well, but I only got one shot. I've never spoken this language before.
Cool.
Yeah, that was a very interesting Afrikaans versation, I think.
Amazing. Absolute cinema.
This is cinema right here. This right here is cinema. All you gotta do, put this over a video of Spoogly loosely blowing in the wind, and that's cinema.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I do want to say, I know we should probably wrap up the episode because it has been almost an hour, but another idea I had is because Ren said to ping him if there's an intermission. So let's take a 5-minute break, and then when we come back, we can see if Ren can join in
Let's
as
just
well.
ping Ren now. I'm pinging Ren.
True.
Yeah, I'm just going to say we're going to take a 5-minute break now, and then we'll see if we can have him join in for like another half hour. Minter
Miss Rion.
I'm like really reaching over to my keyboard here to try to type this. I didn't do a great job.
Yeah, also, now that we're in intermission, I just want to say I'm glad like that bit with like the vocoded Winter's Mortal Hope with the stuttering. I'm glad you guys think I executed that well, cuz like I was channeling like the "Have you ever had a dream" kid to like do that kind of stuttering, and I think it actually worked somehow.
Nice.
I've never had a dream that you want him to do you so much you can do anything.
Yeah.
Yo, Ren. Okay, click the OnWeClaster link. Do the it.
on we Claster.
I'm trying my best.
It's
Benjamin, get in the ennui blaster.
The ennui blast. Yeah, it's crazy how like sometimes I have like these very goofy cartoonish laughs. Like I go ho 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 like that kind of thing, and I have no idea why.
I like to do the great grandma laugh from Rhapsody Street Kids. I'm sorry.
No, that was amazing. Ren, I can't hear you right now in the... Are you talking right now? Hang on.
I am not talking.
Oh, okay. Now you are talking. Okay, I was just making sure, because,
Yeah.
like, I was seeing, like, the noise floor on WeCoster, and I got confused.
I only got 20 minutes left here, so we better get going.
Wait, why 20 minutes left? Do you have to be somewhere in 20 minutes?
I have like dinner plans / lunch plans. I don't know. Linner? I'm going to Linner.
Linner.
Linner, I hardly even know her.
Ah!
Linner is actually an interesting concept because, like, you know, it seems kind of overshadowed by the concept of brunch, which of course is like breakfast and lunch. And I think also, like, brunch is more intuitive as like an alternate, like, meal segment of the day because
It's breakfast for lazy people.
yeah, that is a good way to say it. But like Linner, I guess it's, even though it's the same concept of being roughly equally between two standard meal times, it's like I just don't see people talking about it as much. And it's like,
because it doesn't fit into any particular schedule very well. But I eat Linner sometimes, like when I don't eat all day and then I get like really painfully hungry in the afternoon and I'm like, well, time to eat combination breakfast and lunch, and then I eat dinner after that.
I eat deckfist at 2 a.m.
It's a deckfist.
Okay,
that's incredible.
If we this is something we need to implement in like Xendergarten IRL. Like one of the things we record is like everyone we skip dinner, we like go to bed early, but like we wake up at 2 a.m. and we eat deckfist, which is a combination dinner and breakfast.
The deckfist mukbang.
Deckfist mukbang.
Deckfist mukbang. Oh my god.
No, it needs to be like a disparate combination of like the most dinner and the most breakfast. Like a frickin' like steak with just a fried egg on it.
But that's still a breakfast meal. Like steak and eggs rocks as a breakfast meal.
Well, it's not where I am. Like I don't hear.
Get a burger. You
like
know,
mashed potatoes, asparagus, bacon, and eggs. Like that's deckfast.
Yeah, and you puree the bacon and mix that with the mashed potatoes, and then you puree the asparagus and cook that with the eggs, and then everyone gets sick, and we all
yeah, interesting concept.
The number one rule for deckfist is you have to cover everything in chocolate syrup.
Oh yeah.
Why?
Bro.
Why?
It's the deckfast tradition. Are you uneducated?
Yes.
I've been eating deckfast for 5 years.
I mean,
Wow. Congrats.
that does remind me about how, like, one thing I like to do that I feel like is a bit less bad than covering random foods in chocolate syrup is, like, dipping your bacon or your sausage in, like, syrup, whether that's traditional syrup or maple syrup.
Guys, I have a story.
Oh.
I have a story about this. So I used to have an eating disorder when I was a teenager, right? And around that time, I also liked making cake or cookie mix and cooking it in the waffle maker.
All right.
And so one time, like pretty late at night, I think, I kind of lost my mind and ate a whole bunch of like red velvet waffle cake cookie things. And then I threw up, but that's not fun. What is fun is all of the waffle cookies, right? I think that should be a breakfast food. That should be a deckfast food.
Yes.
Just for deckfast.
Perfect. When do you think we would do an IRL Xendergarten? And are we planning to do it at Ground House or somewhere in Washington?
I don't know. Whatever pans out.
Well, I feel like the less we plan it, the more distant it's going to happen in the future.
Right. I mean, it would be a lot easier. I've been kind of looking into buying a house lately. I think Elliot and I can make a down payment finally. And that would be awesome to come over to Ground House and hang out in the basement. The grouse. Yeah, I've been thinking about that actually. Like I get, like I just get a sign that has Scott the Woz on it going, grouse. Love that. Perfect.
Amazing.
If we did do a Deckfist episode, I think it would be a great idea to do it at roughly 2 a.m. for the people in the US. And then everyone who's in Europe can finally have a good sleep schedule. Or Asia, you know.
Yeah,
that would still be late not late. Yeah.
It's better.
Well, we can't please everybody.
Yeah.
Also, do we know who would be in on the IRL Xendergarten episode?
I think Ground might not be able to make it for like personal reasons. But
what are we talking about?
Wait, what? How would Ground not make it to her own house?
I'm. It was a joke. Did you not get the joke?
I don't know. This is, I guess, the most deadpan you've been with any of your jokes ever.
I think that was perfect delivery. Actually,
Agreed.
The fact that you said it's
amazing.
so deadpan that none of us.
Because usually you kind of use like the joke voice when you're making a joke, because everyone's got the joke voice where it's like
the joke voice. That's true. I keep thinking about this because like not specifically what you just said, but I mean I think about the fact that like sometimes I have this phase where I want to pursue voice acting, but it's not consistent enough for like me to put in the work required. I don't think that means I'll never be a voice actor. It's just I haven't figured out like a good system to keep that going. But one thing I do think about is like an old Xendergarten episode where I said, dang it, I'm only 2 inches tall. What am I going to do? In like a really high voice. And people thought that was funny. And I might actually be able to do a slightly better version of that now. So let me try and attempt it. First I have to do like a warm up and like get into my range. Dang it! I'm only 2 inches tall. What am I gonna do?
You were kind of giving Valley Girl there.
True. Okay, what I wanted to say, I think for an IRL Xendergarten episode, we should visit 6L1S cow, because like 6L1S cow is basically a porcupine moss. But
Oh.
Jeez, wow. Okay, that took me a bit. I think I may just be bonking the head.
Yeah, the problem is that if you kind of like have your jokes have like a very subtle sense of humor, it's kind of difficult to make it come across right. You know what I'm saying?
I'm only 2 inches tall. What am I gonna do? I live in an acorn. That was Spoogly voice right there.
You know, I really don't appreciate you guys trying to mimic my voice. This is just what I sound like. I can't help that I sound this high. I'm just trying to talk like a normal person.
I think Spoogly's like 2.5 inches tall. Yeah, so that makes sense.
Okay, I'm done with the bit now, but
Oh, there it is. There's a squeak. It happened.
That does remind me how like one of the characters in My Little Pony, Sweetie Belle, because of how young her voice actress was at the time, she would squeak a lot, like in the earlier seasons, and so she got the nickname Squeaky Belle. Another phenomenon with the same character is Sweetie Bot, which comes from Friendship is Witchcraft, but that's a completely unrelated thing.
I have watched the wedding episode of Friendship is Witchcraft so many times. Elliot forced me to, but it's okay because it is funny. And you know how much I love corn dogs. I do love corn dogs.
I don't get the reference. I never saw that one specifically, actually.
Well, yeah, that's probably why you didn't get the reference. You don't need to get the reference. Just move on.
Yeah.
Just keep saying stuff.
Although that does remind
Hi,
me of like
I'm abnormality. I like saying stuff. One of my favorite things is to say stuff, and like saying stuff is like so awesome because words are coming out of your mouth, and those words convey information to others, and then others like hear those words, and they're just sounds, but the people like they derive meaning from those sounds, and isn't that kind of crazy that we have this like we can make like all these like vibrations in the air, and they'll like some of them mean stuff, and some of them are like
The aliens finally got him.
When specifically abnormality makes sounds with his mouth, and some of them produce meaning, some of them doesn't. When he says the word is usually the truest there are.
The truest words there are.
Yeah,
I agree so much. Like, especially when the
truest words were never said.
Well, I'll be honest. This is kind of the most unfortunate thing that ever happened in this dang town. I've been investigating those aliens for millennia, because I'm 1,000 years old for some reason. And I kind of expected that these aliens would come eventually. And now that they have, I am totally unprepared. I feel like I let my town down as the central sheriff, and I just feel so frustrated that I could not have anticipated this kind of thing accurately enough to figure out exactly what I needed to do to prevent it from happening in the first place. But hey, you live and you learn, and sometimes you gotta blow a few heads off. That's just the way things work around here.
I love the idea of this sheriff just kind of doing a Xendergarten ramble, right? Like, hi, I'm the sheriff, and you know what it is to be the sheriff. It's kind of the way that I am, and it is also the job that I do, and I do the job that I do because of the way that I am. Anyway, let's blow some heads off, mother hecker.
True.
Anyways, so I'm the sheriff, and recently I discovered this scale called 5L 1 billion S.
So what have you discovered about this scale? What are your basically observations?
It's a great approximation of like the full 1,000,003 limit. And yeah, I think it has some serious implications for Zen harmony in general.
True.
Wow.
True.
Real.
And it's supported by 5 Ito.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Yeah.
You're correct, yeah.
This would be the type of thing Domin would say.
So true. Did you know that 1,042,000,042 Ito is a great approximation of 2.97.84?
True.
Someone's gonna have to fact check that, but I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that Ito. I think it tempers out the Blomporsma and the Ziggity Riggity Ligada and the Gondorombalinga and the Fortornka Stink Crumbunda.
Oh, and don't forget the Skibbity Rizma.
Right?
Also, Oma was dangerously close to Ligma at some point.
Probably.
And all of those commas were invented by a guy eating Deckfist who's never written a song before.
So true.
Late night Deckfist scale building.
I will say, I actually want to mention, I think the closest I've come to the sort of satire that's just been going around is my discovery of 5L2M13S, which sounds very impractical because it has 20 steps, and it's supposed to be just an aberrismized diatonic scale.
That's the reason I undiscovered it right after discovering it. I was like, yeah, well, I could go that high, but I would choose not to.
Yeah, but I just want you guys to hear me out. What is genuinely cool about it is that depending on how you arrange the steps, one mode can have 2 different subsets of diasem and 2 different subsets of black dye at the same time, and it's dual fifth, and the black dye scales use the sharp fifth, and the diasem scales use the flat fifth.
Yeah, that's cool as hell.
It's very theoretically fascinating, but it's just, the question is, how can you actually use that in practice? Because it's like, it's one of those properties that, like, feels cool enough. Because the other thing is, all I was trying to do is I was just trying to find a scale that just had 1 black dye and 1 diasem as subsets at the same time. But, like, in finding that, I also found that it just so happened to have 2 versions of both of those scales as subsets. And so it's like, even though it's a very large scale, it's encoding a lot more than it should be for its size, I feel like. So I feel like it is special, but just because it's special doesn't mean it's practical. But just because it's impractical doesn't mean...
Look, I use 117 Ito specifically because it's a multiple of 39, and I like 39, and because it has, like, kind of the perfect diasem and black dye, which use different fifths, exactly as you described in the scale. I have to see if this works.
Yeah, that's... yeah.
Abnormality. Why sometimes... Now you half of the time you sound freaking like me. I don't know, it might be the new mic.
I mean, in a few years, Dodozil's probably going to sound exactly like me without the accent, you know. We already do sound pretty similar.
Wait, hang on, let me do some dead shaman impressions. Actually, my friend.
Actually, yeah. my friend.
That's a great impression.
Yeah, actually, I'm not sure if this impression is particularly good.
Why'd you become
Why am I British? Bro.
Hey, that's my thing.
I'm sorry, I get too confused about accents, man. It's like, so the thing is, I am a third culture kid, right? Like, I was born in the States, specifically Dallas, Texas. And then when I was 5, my family and I moved to Africa. And then when I was 10, we moved back. So my accent got very South Africanized, which is where all the ahs and aws come from, like water and ask and other stuff like that. And then when we moved back to the States, my accent got very de-South Africanized, but not completely. And so I think having that is why I have a harder time imitating accents particularly well, because it's like, I just can't hear them properly.
Do you guys want to hear the story behind my accent? Have I told this before?
I'm pretty sure
you
yes. Have. I'm pretty sure Uma also told the story of his accent.
I can't remember anything.
Oh wow, that is so hilarious.
Anyway, long story short, I became British because I hated myself, but then I realized I sounded more stupid and I became un-British.
Wow.
That's really funny.
I feel like I'm going through the same thing.
And I'm just like an Eastern European person. So that's it.
My accent is derived from being just a little guy, being just a silly little guy.
True.
And also
this is what Toki Pona sounds like to me.
Yeah, the one thing I do want to say about Europeans is it's really important to make sure that you're peeing in the toilet and not on the floor, because that wouldn't be very good.
What about the bottle?
Oh man, I've been doing it wrong my entire life.
Or the
No
sink,
time like the present to fix that.
The sink.
You know, I will probably not divulge any further information about sink peeing.
True.
You know, everyone's fine when you're peeing in the shower, but the second you take a in the bath, everyone loses their goddamn minds.
Yeah.
Well, it's better to pee in the sink than sink in the pee.
That's true.
True.
That is true, but it's also true that what's even better than peeing in the sink is seeing in the pink.
True.
So
and also, it is
true.
better to be a smart fella rather than a fart smeller.